Greetings, lords and ladies. So, we're going to talk a bit about mindfulness based stress reduction and some of the benefits of that, why that's so important at a time like this. And then we're going to jump into do a meditation together, guided stress reduction meditation. So, with mindfulness based stress reduction, one of the things that the literature shows and the research shows is that it lowers cortisol levels in the bloodstream. And cortisol inhibits the immune response, and inhibits our immune systems. And that's something we definitely want to avoid right now. We want to keep a high immune system. We want to keep our stress down. So the second thing is it lowers our anxiety and over time it will actually make structural changes to our brains. And the research shows that in about 8 weeks, if you practice this every day, you can begin to see some of these changes happen. Some of those are going to be the creation of new neural pathways. You begin to see a new neural pathway form in about 6 to 8 weeks. And we want neural pathways that are associated with positive habits, positive emotional habits, and positive thoughts, and things like that. So this is definitely a positive habit. And the more we practice this and develop these pathways, the easier it becomes to access these skills and the states, the positive states that are produced from enacting these skills. The third thing is that in terms of structural changes to the brain is that in 8 weeks or so, again, you can see the amygdala start to shrink, which is a good thing if you have an overactive amygdala, which is associated with the fight or flight response. It's apparently associated with traumatic memory or unpleasant memories. So the more we use that amygdala in these negative ways, the bigger it gets. And the bigger it gets, the more it can kind of run our lives, and the more reactive that we could become to emotional stimuli, to distress. And it actually can influence us, apparently, to orient and seek out, sort of with our attention, with our way we orient to the world, threats, whether they're real or imagined, or we're overlaying threats or unpleasant emotional experiences from our past onto the present, and thereby missing what's really happening in the present moment, and missing opportunities, sort of mislabeling things that are happening in our relationships based on our past traumas or past woundings. And so that can all be potentially associated with having an overactive amygdala, making us hypervigilant and reactive when we really, could benefit from kind of chilling out and coming into the present and seeing what's really going on. So with that being said, let's get to work on rewiring our brains, our nervous systems, with some mindfulness-based stress reduction practice. And we'll start with some general mindfulness meditation. We'll come in and play a Tibetan singing bowl as we do that, get some positive frequencies to go along with it, and I'll just guide you through. So let's get started. So to begin, allow your eyes to close and just begin to tune in with your consciousness to your natural breath without trying to control or change the breath at this point. Just the breath as it is. And count to yourself the next 3 breaths. And now bring your attention to around the base of the spine, and notice where your body is making contact with the cushion of the couch or the chair or the meditation cushion you may be sitting on. And just bring a gentle attention to those physical sensations, those simple physical sensations of that contact with whatever you're sitting on. And count another 3 breaths. And now from the base of the spine, begin to sort of trace up the spine with your attention, with your awareness. As you go up the spine, notice the muscles in the back and begin to allow yourself to make adjustments to alleviate tension or pressure as you go up the back, making perhaps some slight postural adjustments. Going all the way up the spine, bringing some conscious attention to that until you come to the neck, going all the way up through the neck. And see if you can align your ears with your shoulders. And doing that takes pressure off the neck because our heads weigh about 12 pounds or so, and we don't want that unnecessarily fighting with gravity. So by lining the ears up with the shoulders, we can reduce some of that fight, so to speak, with gravity, and take some tension off those muscles and off the neck. So see if you can find that sweet spot. And now just count another 3 breaths. And as thoughts arise, which they likely will again and again, try to notice, just simply notice when thoughts arise. And rather than fight with the thoughts, or trying to push them away, take a second and acknowledge the thoughts without judging yourself, without judging the content of the thinking. And then redirect your attention back to your natural breath and emphasize the breath. Choose to emphasize the breath by giving it that gentle focus, thereby allowing the thoughts to naturally fade into the background or perhaps go away altogether. And we'll do that again and again, redirecting the attention in a gentle way as thoughts arise, not fighting the thoughts, back to the breath. And as you bring your attention back to the breath, begin to notice some of the simple sensations of the breath. For example, you may notice the sensation of the breath passing in through the throat or through the windpipe. You may notice the chest, the torso expand with that in-breath. And as you breathe out, noticing the breath leaving the torso, the belly, the chest, and passing back out of the throat. See if you can begin to notice those simple sensations, physical sensations of breath over the next 3 breaths. just take my voice here as an opportunity to notice where your attention is, what the foremost thing in your attention might be, without judging, redirecting the attention, if necessary, back to the breath and the sensations of each in-breath and out-breath. And count another 3 breaths. And once again, noticing, without judging, where your attention is, guiding it back to the breath if you need to. And as you count the next 3 breaths, do a little experiment. See if you can allow that breath to deepen just a little bit by relaxing the lower abdomen, letting it drop, the breath drop a bit into the low abdomen, the low belly. Try that for the next 3 breaths. Take a second and check back in with your posture. See if you let anything slip. Remembering to be not too tight, but also not too loose. Check back in with those muscles in the back, the neck, the head. Give yourself permission to make any corrections that may alleviate tension or pressure. And count 3 more breaths. Again, noticing those sensations of the in-breath and the out-breath. And again, notice where your attention is without judging. Guide it back to the breath and count 3 more breaths. Count another 3 breaths. And count 3 more breaths. And now, over the next few breaths, begin to allow your eyes to slowly open, not focusing too quickly. Allow your gaze to be soft and begin to slowly let your eyes move to different objects in your environment. Keeping a soft gaze, not focusing too quickly. And move to different objects 3 to 5 seconds on each object before moving to the next. Staying with the breath, continuing to feel the breath as you do this. Reorienting to the visual field. And stay with your breathing. Keep feeling the breath. Nicely done. So if there's anything from this that stood out to you, if it was an insight or a perhaps warm feeling in the body, or an ease of some tension that you noticed in a specific area of the body, anything that was positive from this that you can create a memory of, see if you can take that with you into your day and call that forth in times of stress, even if it's just coming to your breath and taking some breaths, some conscious breaths. See if you can call that forth if stress comes up. Calm your amygdala whenever opportunities present themselves to do that. And in so doing, you'll assist the process and assist yourself in creating some positive associated neural pathways. Keep those stress levels down, keep those cortisol levels down, keep your immune system high. Thanks for tuning in. Keep anchoring the light, and we'll see you back for part 2. Skull.